everybody. How is everybody
Hello,
doing?
hello. Hi.
Welcome to Transgurus again. Here we are again after a very nice week and Christmas week.
Mhm.
Tonight, we are talking about finding joy on your journey. So, send some hearts. Sometimes it works, sometimes no, it works. Finding joy on your journey. Who wants to go first? Jimmy, you go.
Okay, right on. So, welcome everybody. Today we're talking about finding joy
On your
in our
journey.
journey.
Mhm.
I remember years ago, I heard a statement that said, happiness is not a destination, it's a method of travel. Happiness is not a destination, it's a method of travel. And I was thinking about this when, uh, let's say, for an example, some of these adventurers are climbing Mount Everest. It's the actual feat of climbing this mountain that gives us a sense of accomplishment. When you get to the top, that's just the icing on the cake. So it takes years to prepare to climb Mount Everest. And when you get to the top, you're there for 5 minutes, take a couple pictures, and then you come on down. So it's the life experiences. I think the destination is moving on to the next realm. So the entire process of uh, accomplishing a series of goals until we end up in the spirit world. That's finding joy in that. That there's always going to be trials and tribulations, and if we keep in mind that the obstacles that we encounter are designed to build us and give us strength and build our backbone. There's another saying I like to say, it's calm seas never produced a good boat captain. So embrace the challenges in life, as that's where growth occurs. Ella.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, growth is a very important thing. It is a really important thing, an important part of your journey. Who wants to go next? Dr. Bobby?
Oh, sure. Um, it was funny. I was uh, trying to think, what is the difference between happiness and joy? And happiness is kind of an external thing. Something happens in your environment that makes you happy. You know, somebody says something, gives you a compliment, or maybe you got a raise, or maybe you made an offer on a house and they took it. And, there are things like that that happen externally that make us happy. But and it's an emotional kind of thing. When I think about joy, though, that's really deep seated and it's really spiritual. It's a character trait of your soul when you start talking about joy, and so that's a big difference. And I remember once somebody explained it to me that joy is not pleasure and comfort and material kinds of thing. Joy comes from victory. And that's a lot like what Jimmy just said. It's like you prepare, you set a goal, something that is going to stretch you, and you're victorious over it. And that is the kind of stuff that creates a really deep spiritual joy. And I, just a little trigger warning, because I know it's a hard time of year for a whole lot of people right now. I have a very good friend in New England who basically sent me her suicide note this morning, and just because of the business I'm in, I see a lot of those, and uh, and I wanted to take it very seriously and very personally, but it was like I have read this letter 100 times before, And I didn't want to say that to her, but it's like, "Ugh, yeah." And well, what it is people are focused on what they don't have, what is missing. My family has rejected me. I don't have any friends. My health isn't so great. And this whole thing is focused on what I don't have and how everybody will be better off without me and I'll be better off without me. And that's a really dangerous place to get to. And so I'm glad we're talking about joy because you have got to find all of that stuff internally. It's a spiritual thing. You cannot focus on what you don't have and what you are not getting from your environment because you will never ever ever have enough if you focus on what's missing. And so, I'm and now we're talking. We've talked a lot today, and I'm sure we're going to talk a lot when the show is over. Um, um, uh, and it's this I don't know. I haven't mentioned this before, I don't think, but I do a whole lot of work with the 988 National Suicide Crisis Hotline. I'm one of their consultants. Um, and if you call that 988 number, it's going to the first thing it's going to say, if you're a veteran or active military, or a friend or a family member of active military or a veteran, press one. If you belong to the LGBTQIA community or a friend or family member of someone from that community, press two. Everybody else, press three. And the person I'm talking to is both of those things. They're trans and they're a veteran. And it's like, oh my gosh, there's nobody at higher risk right now. And so for people that listen to this, and it's like, maybe you're not feeling real joyful. Maybe you can't wait for this time of year to get over because I know what that's like. And I just want to remind you there is a huge difference between happiness and joy, and you have to become grateful. You have to focus on what you have and what you can do with what you have. And you've also got to decide, I don't give a flip what anybody else thinks about me. It's like, maybe they do reject me, maybe they do hate me over here, maybe I don't want to talk about politics. Politics is right now either. And maybe all that stuff is true, but I just want to say joy is a spiritual thing. It has to come from inside. And you have to focus on what you have, and you've got to tell everybody else that they will not define you. I am not going to be defined by the people who reject me. It's like that makes a lot of sense. So I'll quit with that because it's kind of a downer. But I'm really grateful that I've found joy in my life, and I'll talk a little bit more about how I did it later. So
Yeah, it is a very, very profound statement. Concentrate on what you have and not what you want to have. Raj, your turn.
Hello, everybody. And I hope everyone's having a wonderful holiday season. Happy Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. And then we have 2025 on the way. So I don't know. When I was a little kid growing up, I could never really imagine myself in 2025. It just seemed so far away. And here we are. So when I think about joy and happiness, a word that I really love to use, and I oftentimes forget to use it, is the word bliss. I
yes,
love that word, bliss, BLISS. And to me, it just really encompasses the core, the trueness of happiness and joy. Because when I use bliss, I just think of like whole and complete, like and deep down into my soul. It's not surface stuff. But you all any of those words will work. But I don't know, for some reason that word bliss really rings a bell with me. And so I love using it. I forget to use it. And I oftentimes use happy and joyful. So I had to wrap my mind around the fact that there is no destination per se. You know, our existence is a continuum. And to really be able to embrace the moment is about embracing the journey, enjoying the journey. Like, you know, when you set a goal, enjoying the moments that you're working towards the goal. I think oftentimes we get caught up in, oh, I got to make that goal, I got to reach it. And that's all good because you do want to stay focused and determined. But remind yourself, I'm getting in the habit of enjoying the moment, enjoying the journey, like you getting to your goal or your desire. And along the way, because what happens, and I think Jimmy had mentioned it. Once you attain the goal, what do most people do? Oh, I did it. Yay. Okay, what's next? And even when we're spirits, and when we leave these bodies, I am sure that like the energy that we are is a continuum too. And I don't know if there's quite a you could really like label something a destination because who knows what's beyond this earthly realm. So I think just being open, open to that. So I'm going to just say this and I'll throw it back to Ella. I think that one of the best ways to find joy in your life, and Dr. Bobby talked about this, it's very powerful, and that's gratitude. Because when you spend time focusing on the things that you don't have, you focus on the lack. And that just makes you more upset, more angry, and unjoyful or not blissful. And so, what I found is when I can go through my day and stop for a second and be like, wow, I'm so thankful I have this comfortable home. Oh, I'm so thankful that I can get up out of my bed and walk and maneuver and find the things that you have that you can be thankful for. And I find the more I do that, the more joy I bring into my life. Ella?
Yeah, absolutely. I have to say something, and that is that I mean, everybody has told so fantastic words about joy. And one of the things which really resonates with me is every day you have a challenge. And every day you have a little win, and you have to make sure that you've got that little win. And that is my biggest source of joy. It's that little thing that you do every day. Sometimes it comes as planned. Sometimes it comes as totally unplanned. And sometimes you just have to allow the divine, make it by itself. It's really quite incredible because um, sometimes you feel, oh my God, how am I going to do this? It's such a lot of things. It's unplanned. And then in the end, everything goes as it has to go because you open your heart and you actually work towards it and you just let, you know, all those forces which are outside of you happen and they bring you to the right place. And that is for me a very large source of joy. I like to work. I mean, it's kind of a thing that I do every day, and it helps me to find myself. And that work is the work I do. I like very much to do what I do, and that is for me a very large source of joy. It is a very large source of having, sometimes you've got businesses which are very easy to do. Sometimes you've got big challenges, business, very big challenges. But the bigger the challenge, the higher the joy when you got that. And that
Hmm.
for me, it's something very important because it's that daily, really, that daily win which makes me alive and makes me happy. That is so important for me. And that is my, um, you know, my gratitude comes from there. That's for me, it's the most important thing, that daily thing that you just have to get over and try to get, you know, your daily win, and your daily win will bring you joy. So with those words, I put around the table, and who else wants to talk about it? Bobby, you want to talk?
Jimmy.
No, I'm hearing some good stuff, and what I'm thinking, what comes to my mind is if we find finding joy in an event or an experience that we have is a matter of perspective. If we recognize that the challenges in life are necessary to build for necessary to build uh, for our development, we'll find joy in these challenges. You know, every experience in life is necessary. All of us, who we are right now, is a result of everything we've ever experienced in life up until this point, good, bad, different, indifferent, or otherwise. And um, the the hardships in life are necessary to build backbone. And if we just understand that, like the harder okay, so just climbing any mountain in North Carolina, okay, we did it. That's a moderate challenge. But to take on a supreme challenge like Mount Everest, or my daughter and her husband climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. It took a whole week to get to the top. That's something to talk about. You know, you don't tell your friends, yeah, we were in the Great Smoky Mountains and climbed such and such a mountain. You know, that's you go to the top, there's 100 tourists there. You know, you make it to the top of Kilimanjaro, there's no one. Because it's the challenge. I think it was either Raji or somebody said this, the challenge equals the reward. The greater the challenge, the more effort it requires to achieve something, the more benefit we're going to get out of it. And if there's one thing I want to leave with everyone here today, man, is accept the challenges in life. The more responsibility that we assume for ourselves, the greater the fulfillment of life. Life is not a spectator sport. The more responsibility, the more we got on our plate, the more fulfillment we'll experience during this journey we call life. And the result of that will be joy. Ella.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with you. Bobby?
Yeah, I got to come back to Jimmy because I don't live that far from the Great Smoky Mountains. It's just the next state below me, and this summer I climbed to the top of Cleveland Stone, and it's like myself. That's the highest part of the Smoky Mountains, and it's like, well, you know, now I'm a little better. Equipped now to think about something like Kilimanjaro, but it's like you can still climb the highest mountain in your state, and that's something to be proud of. And so we got lots of those around here. I was going to say though that when I really discovered the power of joy, um, I was I had I was out drinking with one of my very dearest friends, and you know, she was talking about, oh gosh, you know, who's going to love us really? Who's going to take us home to meet their mamas? All this stuff, and she just, you know, really all this negative stuff. And I was just coming out of a divorce. I'd been in this marriage for 35 years, and it was just crushing me. And you know, it was like most of my life. I was not alone. I was with somebody 35 years. And you know, now all of a sudden, that's over. I'm alone. There's nobody living with me. And here I'm out with my best friend thinking, you know, who's gonna want us? And that's the stuff she's saying, and it's starting to make sense. And it was like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a goddamn minute. uh, it, it was says, I want to get this straight. For the first time in my life, this is who I am. I am living my truth. I am not living a lie anymore. That counts for something. It's like all my life I've looked forward to living like this. And it's like I am, yes, yes. And it's like, yes, I was in an intimate marriage, and I might not have that level of intimacy anymore with somebody, but I have the best friends I've ever had in my life because I'm not lying anymore. I'm not living a lie. I'm not keeping everybody at arm's length. Like, you can only know me so far, but you cannot know the most important part about me. I won't let you in there. Well, it's like that was all gone. It's like, this is who I am. I don't care if you like it or not. This is who I am, and I really like it. And I have got to change my definition of companionship. It may not ever be with a soft, cuddly marriage partner. That may not ever be that again. But I am with my best friends. They want me to come and be their roommate. They want me to share houses with them. They want me to go everywhere with them. And it's like, oh my gosh, I've never in my whole life had companionship like I've got right now. And so all of a sudden it was like I quit thinking about how stinking lonely I was and how happy I was to finally be living life on my own terms and having companionship like I never had in my life. And I got really, really joyful. And that's when love blindsided me. Next thing I know. And really, I met a woman that very same month, and we dated for like a year and a half and got married. And we had 8 years together before I lost her to breast cancer. But it was still, it was like that was what I decided. It was like, oh my gosh, I have got so much to be joyful for. I have got so it's like, and I've got a level of companionship I've never had in my life. And I got really, really grateful and happy and joyful, even though it was like, I'm still going home alone that night.
Mm.
But it was like, but I'm happy with who I am and what I've got. And that's where learned that love is looking for happy, joyful people. And if you want to know how to find love, you have to become joyful with and grateful for with what you have. Think
Absolutely.
it attracts it. Yeah. Well, that's it.
Absolutely. Raji, your turn.
So I'm just going to say that you will probably do yourself a big favor if you don't start comparing yourself to other people's lives. Because we're all on our own journey, and I've been there. I thought about my sister. Like, we grew up to the same parents in the same household.
Mhm.
She has the basically quote unquote American dream. She lives in a big California style house in the suburbs of Pennsylvania. 2 kids. She got her master's degree. My brother-in-law has his PhD, is a professor to college, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. And then I thought I was for a while comparing like my life to hers, and I thought, well, first of all, would I really want her life? Like, would I really want to be in her shoes? We are two different people, even though we're from the same parents, and we grew up in the same household, in the same house, with a lot of the same experiences. My mom always says the branches on the family tree go in different directions. And I thought to myself, I probably would be miserable because that's not me. My life is so colorful in like a different way than hers, and I have like wonderful things about my life that my sister hasn't been able to experience. So do yourself a favor and stop the comparison. Just know that you are on your own divine unique journey. And because I find when I start comparing myself to people, that's when I start to feel depressed and like, and want to like evaluate my life and feel like I'm not living up to a particular standard. And so that's so important because there have been some really rich, wealthy people with great status. You think they're on top of the world, and you hear they commit suicide. Kate Spade.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, so the material things are like icing on the cake. But if you are trying to find your happiness in material things, it's not going to be, it starts here. It's from within. And then you can have the nice car and that the beautiful home and the nice clothes. That's like icing on the cake. But the cake has to be solid and it has to be delicious when you cut into it. So
Yeah.
focus on the happiness inside. Ella?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And I think that we should not forget something which is helps a lot for happiness and joy. And it is trust yourself. Trust yourself, trust your feelings. We always tell that, and that is the most important thing. Learn to listen to your own inner voice because this is where happiness and joy is. And something which I have to repeat all the time, um, trust your fears because your fears very often lead you to places where you should have been or you should go, but you probably are not um, ready to go. I mean, the other day actually I was in a transgender support group and someone there was a person there which she just she just put some girls' clothes and went to transgender support group. And then, somehow we asked, why don't you go further? And she says, because I've got fears about it, so I don't follow it. And I took the moment just to tell her, you're probably missing something. Trust yourself and trust your voice, inner voice, and your fears actually is part of your inner voice. So trust your fears. I was scared to death to fly. And then I went to Cessna school to fly a plane because I was scared to death. And since then, okay, I'm not flying now as a pilot, but I am not scared of flying anymore.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
Trust your feelings, trust yourself, and trust your fears. This is my ships. Is it coming now? Yeah.
Oh,
It's
I
work.
can't get the hearts.
No, it only works with my
Hearts.
computer because it's some kind of Apple thing.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I can't. Oh
okay.
well.
Anyway, let's have the final round. Um, just a short round to finish our today's meeting. Okay, Jimmy, you go.
Sure. So great seeing everybody. And I'm going to just follow up with this. Finding joy is an inside job. And how we define joy is up to ourselves. I know I look at my life, the person that I am now was way out of my comfort zone 10 years ago. So I had to grow to meet the person that I am today. And that growth, uh, there were some painful periods during this growth, but those difficult and painful periods were necessary to grow my backbone to be able to support the person that I am today. So if we embrace the challenges, and you know, uh, a lot of life lessons have a expensive tuition, meaning they're costly. But there's a proportional lesson to whatever kind of pain or discomfort that we experience in life. There's a proportional life lesson that's attached to it. It has to be. The more challenging the problem, the greater problem solvings will develop. Embrace the journey.
Yep.
And I'll close with this. I have a 2-year-old German Shepherd female. Her name's Journey, and I named her that because we're on a journey together. Ella.
Raji, you go.
Sure. Well, I'll just say this, we're all passing through. Everyone has a reason and a season, and you don't know when the moment will be where your time is up here. So instead of walking around upset, sad, angry, hurt, unjoyful, not happy, etc., why not try to use your time here and be as happy and joyful and all that is good that you can experience while you're here on the planet. And I would say if you're feeling down, and I know some days it's hard for me, I have to do something to like perk it up, but we have tools. Turn on a motivational video, turn on some music that you really enjoy. Trust me, if you turn on a artist that you're into, you're going to automatically start to feel good. Take a nice hot bath. Go get that sushi you've been wanting or a slice of pizza that you're craving. Do something to help elevate your spirit, your emotions. So on that note, be happy. And we got a few days before 2025. So let's go into 2025 joyful.
Right. Thank you for saying all of that because, you know, uh, most of us have had a really good life, living true to ourselves until a couple of years ago when I won't say their name, but they've got three letters and their initials decided to ride into town and start a fight with the trans community. And that has made a lot of people really miserable. It is trying to steal the joy that each of us have worked so hard. And it's like, don't let that happen. It's like you are bigger than this moment. And do not cave in to all of these people who have just decided, oh, I think I'm going to hate trans people because they're telling me to hate trans people. Who needs morons like that in their life? Stop it. Don't let them. They will not bring me down. And if anything, that's what I've decided. It is like I am going to be more joyful. I'm going to be happier than because I am not going to let uh, I'm not going to let the haters win. I'm not. I'm just not. They will not take down. And so I just want to encourage everybody to think that at least that highly of yourself that you will not be defined by anybody but yourself. And not that that's easy, because Jimmy's right, is we do have to suffer to learn the lessons. That's how we grow. That's how we become the good ship's captain because we made it through the storm and we did great. And so those are the things that build your confidence and joy. So anyhow, uh, it's yes, it's don't let anybody steal your joy and never stop working on it. The end.
I,
I'm done.
I agree with you, girls. Um, you know, uh, don't let the outside break into you. If
Mhm.
someone tries to hurt, it's actually their problem, not yours. Um,
Mhm.
and that I think that you should take that into consideration. Well, with those words, um, thank you for watching Trans Gurus. We'll be here again next week. And bye, everybody. Everybody has a wonderful Sylvester and coming to 2025. And don't forget to listen to your feelings and don't forget to listen to yourself. Bye, everybody.
Joy, 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 joy.
Namaste. Namaste.
Oh, joy to the world.